Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. Guys, I'm super excited because Sarah and I are recording in person.
Insane.
This is crazy. We haven't seen each other. We have actually seen each other in the past, 3 or 4 months, but
Yeah.
we haven't recorded IRL in something like 8-9 months.
Something crazy.
A human baby ago.
Sad but true.
A COVID baby ago.
True.
And it's been very nice, and we've got some juice to talk about here today. I'm a little miffed. But first, let's start on a good note. 5-star review, guys. By the way, please rate, review, and subscribe. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. 5-star review. I'm setting my timer now so I can see how long this actually takes. This is among my fave pods, along with Keith and the Girl. It's thought-provoking and funny. I'm just waiting for Danny to actually cry.
Oh my
Also,
God.
this took a minute and a half.
Okay, fine. We can up our estimate. We can be a little more realistic.
Takes 90 seconds,
Yes.
people. Write a review. That's all I ask. I'm being honest today. 90 seconds. I'm happy you feel provoked. I'm happy that you find the pod funny, listener. And thank you so much for leaving a 5-star review.
Yeah, thank you. That's so nice. I do love Keith and the Girl, so I feel like this is a high honor.
What an honor.
Yes.
But then we move into a 4-star review. A 4-star review. I'm a new listener and love the pod, but sometimes I feel like Sarah's opinions are not respected. Oh. They both seem like nice and good people, don't get me wrong. But Danny sometimes says judgy stuff to Sarah that rubs me the wrong way, almost like he views his opinions as quote-unquote right, and if she disagrees, she's quote-unquote wrong. Normally, I can easily overlook stuff like this, but it happens so often that it's getting a little difficult, and I wanted to point it out. Overall, it's a great show, and I recommend giving it a listen.
I do wish we had some examples.
This is what kills me about this review, is the lack of examples, the lack of a way to move forward. I'm having nightmares about this.
Okay, relax.
I'm devastated, and you know what really
Oh my
sinks
God.
it? What really? I'm exaggerating, but
Okay, I'm like, please don't.
it's the 4 stars because they like me.
Right, yeah. It's like they left pretty good feedback, and they still say they like the podcast.
Right. And it hurts me. And listen, we talked about this on the bonus already. We're having a word here that we're using, and now I'm very aware. And by the way, thank you. Thank you. Sarah has said that I do steamroll her at times. And I say, well, I'm trying to get your clothes, the wrinkles out of your clothes.
Oh my God.
Sorry. So I understand it, and I know I can get worked up sometimes, and I'm going to be aware and conscious to not steamroll. But I don't like this notion that I'm some kind of a monster.
No.
What did they say? That
No.
I'm judgy because I think I'm right. Well, of course I think I'm right.
Everybody thinks that they're right.
Everybody thinks that they're right. But thank you for the review. And by the way, if you want to leave a review that, bothers me a lot, I
If
encourage
you really
it.
want to just, I don't know, keep Danny up for days, like compliment him and then leave a 4-star review.
Right. Right. I can't sleep. I can't eat. But a lot of good things are happening, people. I mean, I've hit a couple hard bottoms here, a lot of loneliness on Christmas Eve, but then I saw my brother. I had the pie cake in, the 3-layer cake. Now I got Sarah in person.
Oh yeah, I feel like I didn't even get your review of the pie cake in. The second one.
You know what? I forgot to put it in the Insta story highlights, but I've reflected. I've reflected, and the Thanksgiving pie cake in was a lot better.
Yeah.
It really was dominated by the amaretto buttercream. Anyway, what is this podcast? What is going on?
It's a culinary podcast.
The culinary podcast. Guys, I think we're just gonna get to it. I mean, I do have juice, I guess. I guess we do have juice because we were just kind of having a discussion about the dating paradox. You're dating, you're seeing people, you're seeing multiple people, everyone knows. But on the other hand, it's a little gross.
The thing is, like, everyone knows, but the problem is, like, I always forget that it's something that people do until, like, the signs of it start showing.
Right.
And it sucks because I go into everything, like, fucking wide-eyed and, like, bushy-tailed, and then I'm like, oh, no.
Little rabbit.
No.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. It's like, I forget I was playing a losing game from the start.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're getting laid, if I'm going to be frank. I'm not.
That's true.
I'm not getting laid at all. I'm not upset about it, everybody. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But I could go for a little bit of laying here and there.
Yeah, I mean, there's obvious pluses and minuses.
But we were debating this and kind of going at this. And I think we've gone at this before. But I think that, I think it's good to be slow.
I mean, I agree. Like, right. I'm not happy with myself right now.
You said that before, right? I don't think I really jumped on that.
Okay.
You're not happy with yourself.
Who else would I be unhappy with?
Well, in other words, that you maybe betrayed yourself a little bit because
I lost my upper hand. I hate talking like this. It's very unfeminist, but it's true.
You're mad at yourself because it was a tactical misstep. Or are you mad? Okay.
Yeah, like I enjoyed it and I had a fun time. But like,
you're not guilty.
Now
You're not Catholic, so you don't have that kind of shit.
What's up?
You're not guilty about it.
No, and I don't have like regrets, but it's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Is that a regret? I don't know.
It was a misstep. You feel it was a poor
yeah. It's more like, oh, now
Sure.
I have to like finesse even harder now, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
that's
feels
it.
effortful, finesse.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm an advocate of it. I think that it's worked on me a long time ago. I had an ex who we were friends and we were hooking up, and then she said, I want to be more than friends. And she said, I'm not gonna have sex with you anymore. And I said, okay. And then eventually I was like, all right, I like you, and let's do this. And we went out for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird because I'm not friends with this person.
Yeah.
Like I just met them on Hinge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less of the fact that like I think it's not that like I think that he thinks that I'm like a hoe, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just like it's easier to kind of view things more objectively and pick up on red flags when your brain is not clouded by like oxytocin. Or now it's the fact that my waking thoughts are consumed by like, how am I gonna essentially manipulate this person into dating me instead of just inviting me over to hook up?
Right.
And that's
set boundaries.
I don't want to be this
that's
way.
Not manipulating. That's that, and that's how. That's why we're kind of, putting this out here. But like, if you're gonna catch feelings, and you are from sleeping with someone, you are. That's a boundary. That's not manipulating. That's just saying I want a certain.
It's manipulating, not in a bad sense, but in the sense that it's like you're doing something to influence something. Like that's manipulating.
Well,
I don't think it's bad.
Then I would just turn around and say, well, it's setting a boundary. So you're saying setting boundaries is manipulative? I don't think that's what that is.
I guess that's a good point.
So you're setting a boundary. And I say, we live in a very slut woke culture. And I'm very slut woke, and I think it's great. And I think everybody should sleep with everybody.
Woke. I don't think that's a term you should use.
Okay. I won't say it anymore.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that I think that we can sometimes go too far with it and say, well, this doesn't matter at all, and everybody can sleep with everybody and everything's going to be just fine. And I don't think that. I don't think that's true. And I have an example is that I was attracted to this girl in college. I thought she was a catch, and I gladly would have taken her out. I would have. And I would have taken her on dates, and I was into her. And she was a singer, actually. She had a beautiful voice.
Okay.
And and she slept with me right away on the first date. And total turn off. And I wasn't intellectually like she's a hoe. I never thought nothing like that. I just physically wasn't attracted to that. And I'm pulling obviously from an experience that happened 10 years ago. So all my shit's very outdated, people.
Yeah.
There's no question it's outdated. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty crappy, but what can I say?
Well, what do you mean it's crappy? But I'm telling you that
because you also had sex with this person and you also wanted to do
there's
it.
A difference.
So it's kind of crappy.
There's a difference.
What is the difference?
There's a difference. There's a double standard. Of course, there's a double standard.
And that's crappy.
Yes, but it is crappy, but it's not born of culture, is what I'm trying to say. There's a biology here.
Oh, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't think everyone's like that, and I think I've done various things in my many like dating, not even dating, like starter experiences. I feel,
sure.
and it's not made like I haven't been in a relationship in 5 years, so it hasn't obviously made an effect one way or the other, unless I were to like lead a double blind study. And anyway, so I don't think that's like fair to say of everyone, but I do think that sometimes it can just like mess with your judgment, mess with like feelings.
Yes.
And I mean, I
That's
think
hot.
that's it.
It's hot. It's hot. It's really hot. I mean that. It's hot if I make out with a girl and I'm trying to go all the way with her and she won't do it. I'm like, I want to do this with you, and she
Yeah,
won't
but
do
then
it.
it's like shitty that if she does agree that she wants to do it, then you turn around and then you're like, nah, I don't want to do this again. It sucks.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
crappy.
because you have to build a bond.
I mean, you're not gonna like reason me into agreeing with you. Like it's not gonna happen. I think it's shitty.
I know, but I feel like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
How?
Well, because you're trying to say that it's manipulative, and I'm trying to tell you that it's not.
I'm not saying it's
You were
manipulative.
just saying that.
What am I saying is manipulative?
You were saying that it was manipulative to be like, I'm not going to fuck you unless you give me the kind of relationship I want. I don't think that's
I
manipulative.
think it's manipulative to when you've already been fucking someone to say, I'm not going to do that anymore unless
Why?
you give me the relationship I want.
Why? Those are boundaries. You're saying, I'm not going to have the most intimate kind of experience with you.
I mean, the line between like an ultimatum and a boundary is pretty thin. So I don't think it doesn't, I don't know. I feel like it depends how you want to view it.
I guess. I just feel like it's a very healthy boundary to have and recognize the importance of sex. It's very intimate. It's very intense. I think it's best when it's intimate, and I think that's literally being like, I demand a level of intimacy with you. Is that not intimacy? I think intimacy is born of a mixture of, closeness and connection and exclusivity. Not everyone, and I'm not speaking everyone, but generally.
I mean, I guess my thing is like, I've been perpetually like booty call zone / friend zone. So like, I don't want someone who's only going to want to date me when I'm withholding sex, which is like the thing that I feel like everyone was with me for in the first place. Like that's not going to make me feel
why does
good.
it reduce to that? I feel like
Because
you're
you're
rounding
removing
down.
sex from the equation.
Yes.
And that's what's making the person decide to like invest.
Yes.
Why?
Because men are animals.
Because
I'm
they
telling
want
you.
sex. Like that's the whole.
They want sex. Yes.
Yeah,
We
like,
want sex
that's
as part of the
shitty.
game.
I don't want someone who's like only going to be with me because of the sex.
But it's not just because of the sex. You're creating a bond with them. You're allowing the bond to grow and to flourish. I'm not threatened by this idea. I'm very interested in this because I just had a horrible, rebound relation that was very sexual, very quickly, and very intense. And so I'm sort of like, why don't we bond without sex? That's interesting. That's interesting to me. Go a little slow. What's the rush? I'm kind of curious because I'm like, well, if I start hanging out with this girl and we're on date, 6 or 9 or whatever, we still haven't done it. I'm like, would I do this? Would I really do this? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting.
It's interesting. And so what? So you don't get to screw them. Who cares?
No, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. I think it's an advantage for both sides because
Yeah, I just think it's an advantage for like a different reason that you're saying. I just think it gives you the actual like time and better like objectivity to assess if you actually like the person and not if you fuck him too quick, he's going to lose interest. Like
well,
that's
both.
not the
It's
perspective
all a
I'm
mix.
interested in.
It's all a mix. Yes. Well, it depends how soon, right? But I think really extending it could be very interesting. It's a very intimate thing. And I think as one of the listeners says, I believe it was Justine, she said, falling in love is easy.
My God, just
And
go out
she's
with Justine
right.
already.
You go, what?
I said, just go out with Justine already.
Listen, I'm not going to discuss our relationship, but the thing is that, look, she's right. You fall in love easy, you start having sex, and that is a cocktail of chemicals.
Yeah, but that's a different, like, I think that perspective is valid. I don't like the perspective of he's going to lose interest in you if you put out too quickly.
But
like,
it's, well, but it,
you're saying it's true because it happened to you like one time.
I'm saying it's true because I know it's true.
Okay, well,
I'm telling you that it was a turnoff, though. Like, I was intellectually attracted to this woman. Okay, I was into her. She was pretty. She was smart. She had a beautiful voice. She had the voice of an angel, of a sky-high angel, floating above me. She was a blues singer. And then this happened, and I was like, I can't even. I'm just 0% attracted to you now.
Okay, but like not everyone is like that, which is what I'm saying. So like I wouldn't modify your behavior because of like one potential double standard. If it is something you want to do, maybe there are other reasons why. There are other benefits.
Well, sure. This is one of a ton of reasons.
Okay.
So are you open to this strategy?
I've done it before. Like, you're
Right.
acting like I just fuck everybody on the first date.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be acting that way. See, now I'm getting very afraid of my 4-star review here. I'm just trying to understand.
And I've said this in plain English multiple times as we're sitting here that I've both fucked people and not fucked people, and it's had the same effect. So, like, why are you looking at me and speaking to me as if I just put out on the first date all
Right.
the time?
Oh my God. I feel like I'm proving this review right. I'm freaking out. I'm not. I'm just trying to understand this issue and go through it. And I'm also trying to understand it for myself.
Okay. Have we reached any understanding?
I feel like we have, but
Okay.
I feel like you feel insulted by me, and I feel like a steamroller, and I feel sad.
I don't know. What else to say?
I guess we just move on.
Okay.
Just got a little uncomfortable. I mean, am I good? Did I fuck up there?
It's fine.
Okay. Is the 4-star review right? Was it repetitive?
Yeah, it's like,
I don't know. Did I do something wrong? I feel like I did. I feel like you got upset.
I mean, it's just like, no, it's not worth discussing.
I think
don't
it is
feel
worth
I
discussing.
don't feel like discussing it.
Okay. Here we go, people. This is what it is. It's real. It's real here, and I don't have the answers. I'm trying to figure things out myself. I don't know the rules. I'm citing these 10-year things. So what do I know? I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm trying to understand. I'm reading these books and I don't know, but I do know one thing, that it got a little awkward. It got a little awkward there.
But we're still going to have one heck of an app for you today.
Yeah, there we go. I can't look at Sarah in the eye right now. I feel like she's very upset.
It's fine.
But she's right. She's right that we do have one heck of an app for you today. Our second story of the day. AITA for saying that my daughter inherits my house, quote unquote, no matter what.
Aren't we doing that this episode? That situation.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought you were reading your Guess the Verdict.
Oh, I forgot about Guess the Verdict. People, we're going to do some
And I was like,
Guess the
wait, no,
Verdict.
we can't guess it. We're doing that one.
Wow.
Okay, I'll go first.
Here we go.
Okay, this is really funny to me. AITA for holding something someone did to me against them years later.
No, I'm
It's
so
kind of like
tired
this
of
sub in a
losing.
nutshell.
I've been losing so much, holding it against them for years. NTA, because it's going to be valid.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes!
You're right. I feel
finally
like
a
I don't
point.
even need to read this, but basically, like, they were friends. The friend basically kind of swooped in and started talking to the guy that she knew her friend was, like, also seeing and refused to apologize. And then he knocked her up and dumped her for his ex. And then the friend came crawling back. And that's kind of it. The NTA, but this happened when they were like 19, and then the friend tried to reconnect when they were 27. And she was like, no, I kind of feel like you're going to do something shitty like this again. And the friend was like, you're immature if you can't let something go from when we're 19. I'm going to eye roll. Okay, the top comment was from Judge Judd AITA. Was this you? She hurt you even if she apologizes and shows remorse. You can decide whether to accept it or not without being the asshole. Now I've like scared Danny
I'm
into
very
submission.
afraid now.
This is pretty
I'm
fun.
like, I'm in a scared place now, but it's
Ah.
okay. I like the 4-star review nonetheless. It sent me inward. Would I be the asshole if I asked my brother if he's happy?
Who would be the asshole in that situation? Here's what I'm imagining. The brother is like marrying someone or about to marry someone who just like sucks. And the OP is like, would I be the asshole if I did this? But I swear I didn't read anything. Okay, so I would say, who would be the asshole aside from like the potentially shitty girlfriend or whoever? I don't know if she'd factor into that equation. So I'm going to say no assholes here.
No assholes here is wrong.
Damn it.
Yes. Here's the story.
Tried to trip me up with your reactions.
Brother has fiance of 6 years. You're 100% right about the setup. though.
Yeah.
She
Spend too much time on the
lacks
internet.
social graces.
Oh.
OP's crime, he starts hating on this wedding venue. Guess what?
What?
Well, he was saying, I guess they live in a small town. He's like, it's so overpriced. It's so overpriced. That's the exact wedding venue she wants to use.
Okay.
She got really quiet and weird, didn't say anything. This is the real crime. This is where you turn on her.
Okay.
They're watching a movie as a group. She pulls out her phone, starts watching her own movie on full volume.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Arrest yourself.
Yeah.
She also previously admitted to OP that her main motivation to get married is that OP's brother is boring. Nice, healthy mother there. Really good.
Wait, I'm confused. Why is that a draw?
No, that's a mark against her. She's saying the reason the reason that I'm marrying your brother is so that I can have a kid. And the reason I want a kid is because he's boring.
She wants a kid, so she has like something else to do.
Yeah. And that's what she said.
Yeah.
That's what she said. That came out of her mouth.
That's hilarious.
Top verdict, NTA. You have every right to ask your brother how he's feeling. He's an adult. He can decide for himself how much information he wants to give you. Be feeling in terms of this relationship.
Okay, yeah. I was basically wondering if the shitty fiance would factor into the verdict because the brother is not the asshole.
No.
She's the okay.
Yeah, she's the asshole.
I was close. Okay. AITA for telling an employee that pregnancy is not an excuse for low productivity.
AITA for telling an employee that pregnancy is not an excuse for low productivity. I'm going to go YTA.
Yeah. This guy is like a fucking monster. I mean, this woman is pregnant. She has morning sickness. He's like, all right, just take off the morning. And she's like, no, it does last the whole day.
It's just called morning sickness.
It can, yes, as it can do. And basically he's really just pissed. He goes, and she's, I think, 10 weeks pregnant. And she says she's like really physically struggling. I told her that was no excuse because she's only in her first trimester and barely even pregnant. I also questioned whether it was fair to other women that she was using a normal bodily function as an excuse for low productivity. This is what women fought to counteract during the feminist movement. I'm speechless.
A normal bodily function.
Like getting your period or peeing is a normal bodily function. Like being pregnant, I don't think is.
It's pretty abnormal.
I don't think you can lump that in with just like.
I would say even period. I mean,
going to the bathroom.
You can have really painful cramps. I've heard of that.
Yes, it's true. I mean, it is normal in the sense that it comes every month, but but yeah, it's not just like, yeah, this guy's such a dick. I mean, the top comment was YTA, but then they kind of went into like all like certain conditions that she could have that could be causing these really bad symptoms that we don't need to get into.
Would I be the asshole if I didn't inform Amazon that my packages came after all?
Not the asshole.
Sarah, you're wrong.
What?
Now, the deal is that OP thought his weights didn't come. He ordered weights, but they actually did. And here's the thing. There's a third-party seller.
I don't know. What does that mean?
It means it's not.
I know what it means, but like, why does that
Well, it's not
in?
sold by Amazon directly. There's some Joe Schmo involved, some smaller company, you know. Slight YTA says the top verdict here, only because you know that it could hurt the third party and it wasn't their mistake. Also, as small as it is, you know how terrible being an Amazon worker is. So it's just a tad more bit for them than needed. That's
true. Especially to ship weights. That sucks.
What a pain.
Yeah, that shipping's like $30 too. It sucks.
Guys, I've been on a long losing streak here, and now I just skunked Sarah 2-0.
You sure did.
So thank God that I was gaslighting her earlier. Apparently that worked. I'm sorry. Are we good?
Yeah, it's fine.
I want to go into this good. We're back on the same team?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Guys, we got one heck of a net for you today. I'm trying to shift out of this energy. Let's shift out. Here we go. Ready? Guys,
stop bringing it up.
We got one heck of an app for you today. Our second story. AITA for saying that my daughter inherits my house no matter what. But first, AITA for accepting a bribe from an Amazon seller and then reporting them for it. Wait, what,
Amazon.
Are we sponsored?
Yes.
Are we sponsored?
We're anti-sponsored by Amazon. We want to hurt their business.
I know. Sarah kind of judged my ass when I told her I've been ordering Amazon Fresh.
Just because, you know what the reason is? Because we live in the city and like, I feel like going to the grocery store is like extremely easy.
I know, but there's no, it's free and they have a good selection and it's Whole Foods and going to Whole Foods is a whole thing.
I've never been to Whole Foods.
It's a whole thing, but I want their selection.
Actually, one time I did right before I recorded at your old apartment and I was like, I wanted to get a carton of eggs and they didn't have normal eggs. Like they only had $7 eggs.
I know, everything's
and I was like,
so
I can't.
Expensive.
I was like, how do you people live like this and why do you choose to live like this?
It's horrible.
I don't get it.
That's why I order it. I know. I feel bad. Old Bezos, he's got
we all do
money.
bad things, whatever.
Bad things. AITA for accepting a bribe from an Amazon seller, then reporting them for it. A few months ago, I got the iPhone 12 Pro on release. I ordered a phone case for it on Amazon. When I received the phone case and put it on my phone, I noticed that the phone case didn't actually fit. The buttons were misaligned. The case bulged at the sides because the measurements were off. The case was too small for the phone it was advertised for. Because of this, I returned the phone case to Amazon. I received a refund. I left a 1-star review, stating that the case did not have the right measurements and that its claim that it fits the iPhone 12 Pro is false. We get it, OP. You got an iPhone 12.
Yeah, as I read this again, I was like, you could have just been like, I bought a phone case on Amazon, it didn't fit.
We got it. Yeah, exactly. This
Like, you
could
didn't
really
have
be
to be
boiled
like,
down. It's not
"Wow."
even a max. So why are you flexing?
I don't
Cool
even know
your
what that
flex.
means. I still have my iPhone 7, everybody. If you would like, you can Venmo me, Sarah-F-Carter, to donate to my iPhone fund.
Please do. Yesterday, or join us on Patreon. Yesterday, I received an email from a strange email. That's a sentence I like. Received an email from a strange email.
Like a strange address, I
Okay.
guess.
The email included a screenshot of my review. They asked if I'd be willing to change my review or delete it in exchange for a free new phone case. I believe this is because my review was the most helpful top review for that product, and so many people had seen it. My review is probably preventing several hundred potential customers from purchasing that phone case. Out of curiosity, I went back to the product page to check on my review and saw that the seller had left a comment. The seller said there was nothing wrong with my phone case. They claim they've tried to contact me several times about the product. They also said that I was not a quote unquote real customer and that I would be reported to Amazon and that quote unquote real customers would negotiate with the seller and not leave a bad review. I checked my Amazon messages to see. Nope, not a single message. I checked my email. Nope. I told my boyfriend about it. He was furious. He said the company had tried to slander me. I looked online. Amazon state said it's not allowed for sellers to offer compensation for a good review or a bad review or for removal of a bad review. So what's the company emailed me is against Amazon's rules. Sellers in violation of this get their account banned and I can no longer sell on Amazon. And they can no longer sell on Amazon, excuse me. I emailed them saying I'd be willing to accept the case in exchange for editing my review with my honest opinion. I didn't say I was going to give them a good review, only that I would write my honest opinion. They agreed, but also said that simply deleting the review would be preferred. I sent them my address. And they shipped me the phone case. After this, I took screenshots of the original email and the seller's comment on my review. Then I reported it to Amazon. Looking at articles I found about the topic on Google, the seller's listings will be removed or they'll be banned from selling again. I feel kind of bad about this and feel that I was too selfish and vindictive. I feel like I'm being a Karen and now someone's livelihood will suffer because I shut down their small business all over a phone case. AITA.
Okay, well, it kind of depends whose livelihood you're actually shutting down. Like, I'm imagining you're getting some, like, cheap phone case, like, that's mass-produced in China and sold by, like, Shein.
Sure.
I don't know. Is that what happened, or is it someone's actual small business?
Well, who cares?
Yeah.
They're a horrible business.
Yeah, it is a bad business.
If I order a phone case, it doesn't fit on the phone, then what kind of business is this?
Yeah.
It's a business in disappointment.
And then to make up that like that she's fake and all this other stuff. Actually, that's how you know it's a real person running this business. They're going to go like full catfish on you.
I'm worried that OP feels even guilty. Now, I will tell you people, I did this. And Sarah, you tell me if I'm the asshole. I ordered a pillow on Amazon. I wanted a big fluffy pillow for my ex. She wanted a big fluffy pillow. I said, you want a fluffy pillow? I'll get you the fluffy pillow. I found that.
Get you a man who buys you a fluffy pillow.
Gladly. So I get the top rated pillow on Amazon. I get the pillow, not even close to fluffy.
What is it?
Not even close. You see that white pillow I have there? That's a fluffy pillow. That's a supportive pillow.
Yeah, it's memory foam.
It's memory foam. That is a thick with 2 C's pillow. This thing was a flaccid, pathetic pillow. Okay? And it feels very much like a normal pillow. I mean, it's branded as a ridiculous pillow, right? It's branded as a big fluffy pillow. Not a normal pillow. I would say it was maybe a normal pillow. And so I went in and I wrote a very negative review. And I said, this pillow is not fluffy. The notion, because they also, to try to sell you on it, they're like, you can also take the fluff out in case it's too fluffy. And I was like, oh my God.
There's not enough fluff for you?
There's not enough fluff. Or too much fluff. You could take the fluff out. I go, that's how much fluff is in this fucking thing.
Wow, they really bamboozled you.
They really bamboozled me. So I write a scathing review. I say, this is an unfluffy pillow. This is a...
Why wouldn't you just contact them first and be like, can I return this?
I did. I left a negative review and then I was going to return it, but they were going to make me go to downtown Brooklyn. And I was like, I'm not going to do this for this stupid pillow. I'll just use a pillow.
Okay.
Months pass. My ex is gone. It's just me and the pillow now.
And you're like, it is fluffy after all.
It's fluffy after all. No. And then I get this weird... Did I get an I don't even know how... Yeah, no, I got an email. And they said, we'll give you $50 of Amazon gift card to delete this review. I did it. It was $50.
Did you delete it?
I deleted it for $50. I go, this is so great. I'm going to do this more often.
I think this is fine because you're like you were criticizing them on a subjective point.
Is it subjective? Do you want to see the
Yeah,
pillow?
like her
I'm going to show you the
case,
pillow.
just straight up, fine, show me the pillow.
I'm going to show you this pillow.
And I need to see how it was advertised, guys. I'm sorry. That's pretty fluffy. Come on. That is pretty fluffy. I don't think
You think
that was
that's
fair.
fluffy?
Yes.
You think that's fluffy?
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
I think most people would be very disappointed with that. It's not
I don't-
similar. How dare you
I don't
compare
think
that
so.
to my genuinely fluffy pillow?
I think that's not
Sarah,
negative
look at
review
how this
worthy. That's like
compresses.
you first email them.
This is horrible. This is a normal pillow.
That's not a normal pillow.
This is a normal pillow.
No, I think this is a pretty good pillow.
Well, look, I got my $50 and I'm sticking to it.
I'm not mad at you for taking the $50 and deleting the review.
You're
I
not
think
mad.
maybe you should have emailed them first to return the pillow before you left them a negative
I did. I was
review.
clear to return it. Then I was too lazy. I was like, I'm not going to go all the way to Brooklyn.
Why'd you have to go all the way there?
I don't know. There's no return. Anyway, we're getting into this pillow
Okay.
shit. Look, here's what Sue B says. NTA. I and most people, I think, depend on honest reviews to make the best informed purchase. Look, a lot of people, Sarah, would back me that pillow is not quite fluffy. I don't want to deal with a company that's going to badmouth me because their product didn't live up to its promises.
I mean, this is blatantly, like, this is an objective standard. It's like, does it fit the phone? Yes or no? She is in the clear because it just straight up didn't fit the phone.
You're right. I give you that. Fluffiness is much more subjective than fitting. Sarah A. NTA, on top of not being allowed to offer incentives for reviews, sellers are not allowed to contact you outside of Amazon. Yeah,
I think it's also a mad sketch that they're like hunting you down months later.
Oh, and by the way, guys,
How do they find your email?
I don't know. It was
Oh, I guess because you buy it.
it was
and you put
all
your
mad
email.
sketch, and then it came from like a weird address.
Oh,
it
of
was
course.
super sketchy.
It's like X, Y, Z,
Yes.
like 1, 2,
So weird.
Q. Yep.
Nikki C, ESH, why accept and say you'd edit your review? Why not just report them when they offered? They're obviously shady.
I guess it's funny because, like, why would you want another phone case that you know is not going to fit?
I know, right?
Like, why would you get bribed with the same defective product? But I can't fault them for that.
Anyway, I think this is a no-brainer. Look, I'm sorry for contributing to
Some people
evil
are
Amazon.
saying YTA for accepting the bribe.
Are
A few
they?
people. Yeah.
YTA, done us just a little. You should have reported them when they first made contact rather than grifting another phone case out of them. You've tainted your position by doing that. Well, no, because
The thing is, like, I love a grift, so, like, I'm the wrong person to weigh in on this.
well, I don't think it's a grift. I think obviously they made some phone cases that didn't fit and they made some that did. So they don't
Yeah.
universally not fit. It's just they got a
Yeah.
shitty one. Because you know what? Look, there's manufacturing tolerances, right? So maybe some of the, 1% of the phones don't fall within the tolerances. Then they have shitty QC. They got people testing the cases. Whatever. So this is the 1% or whatever, probably with a shitty phone like this. Phone case is probably like 5% or 10%. But let me tell you, Sarah, that pillow right there, that's not fluffy. If I was quality control, not fluffy enough. More
And
fluff.
you'd press the button and there'd be like, "Wah, wah," alarm.
Yes.
Fluff
Now, Sarah,
alarm.
you admit there, though, look at this pillow.
I
Fine.
thought you were going to get like a pancake. This is like fine to me.
Fine. It's fine. But you tell me this. How many people, remember
But
how
this
they
is-
sold it?
Okay, the thing is,
Hear
like,
me
this
out.
is fluffy because it's full memory
Yes,
foam, and
I
so it's like
agree.
a brick. But this is like a different makeup
Okay,
of
but
the
hear me
pillow,
out.
so it's hard to
Remember
compare.
the key selling point. It's so fluffy, you're going to have to take fluff out. Who the hell is taking fluff out of that?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a
Thank
really
you.
fluffy pillow. I'll show you. You can take the fluff
Is it
out, which I
fluffier
just
than that?
discovered.
I rest my case. I think we agree wholeheartedly here. Wholeheartedly on this. AITA for accepting a bribe from an Amazon seller and then reporting them for it.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole, and they are, yeah, because they're a shady
They are
company.
the asshole. They're like trying to intimidate people.
Well, they
It's
should have just
weird.
been like, "Hey, man, we're so sorry your phone case didn't fit. That's we've messed up. Here's
This
your
is,
money."
yeah, this is not customer service. You don't try to like blackmail and like intimidate people into deleting their reviews. Like you try to do a make good.
Absolutely.
Get out of here.
AITA for saying that my daughter inherits my house no matter what. I'm a single mom in my 50s with one daughter. I got very lucky in that I bought a home in the Bay Area nearly 30 years ago for around $230K before the tech boom. Now the house is worth $1 million. I have a 23-year-old daughter.
All these brag people in the first we got the iPhone 12. Now we have the house owner.
Relax,
wow.
people. We get it.
Yeah, this
I
is
have-
a rich episode.
I have a 23-year-old daughter, Camilla, who grew up in that house. She moved out last year to go live with her boyfriend. I've never explicitly told my daughter, quote unquote, the house will be yours. Nor has she asked anything about it, but just sort of common sense. That's my daughter. Who else would I give it to? One important note. There's 2 homes in the NABE that are owned by lower middle class people, me and a neighbor who's been here as long as I have. Otherwise, our neighbors are engineers and software developers. The Bay Area is simply unaffordable if you're not in tech. My daughter is a hairstylist. My fiance Steven and I have been together for 2 years. He has 2 young children, elementary school. He has joint custody of who I adore. He's got joint custody of his 2 kids. I adore them. I'm excited to help raise them. Steven and I don't have a ton in the bank, so a prenup seems silly if it weren't for the house. I told him that I'm ready to combine finances and plan long term with him, but I wanted a prenup about the house. It's a non-negotiable for me that my daughter inherits the house. He wasn't happy with this. He said that $1 million split 3 ways is enough for all 3 kids to get a head start in life. By myself, and Camila is my only child. She can have her dream life working as a hairstylist living in the Bay Area with this house, but will be unhappy, have to move out to a less desirable area if it's split. I spoke to Camila about this, and she agrees that if she should get the house, and said she always planned on inheriting it, just like I always plan on giving it to her. AITA.
I guess it's weird. I don't disagree with like any of this, but I'm wondering like why she would speak to the daughter for validation.
Totally.
Like it's not about like of course who's gonna pass up a free house? Like nobody's gonna do that. Like of course she's gonna say like yeah I deserve the house, and I think that she's correct, but it doesn't really matter. It's like she shouldn't have been really spoken to weigh in. It's irrelevant.
I mean, it's interesting, okay? It's interesting because this is a fairly new relationship. 2 years?
Yeah.
We're already talking about splitting down the $1 million house? It's a little like, yo, what are you here for? You here for the house?
2 years, and they're engaged already. That's not like so fast, but it's like faster than a lot of people I know who get engaged.
It's a little fast. I get it. They're older. They got nothing going on. Why not? But, it's a little fast for me. I guess Steven, what is Steven's argument? Well, he's not happy with this, he says. We don't really get to hear any of his kind of logic. He just says it should be split. It's her money.
He's kind of like, well, once we get married, like our family is going to become one and all the kids should be considered equal.
I think it's tough because I don't think that's a crazy expectation, especially consider these are young kids. Her daughter's kind of cooked.
It's not crazy, but then it is crazy at the same time.
I think it's good that they're discussing
Dumbest thing I've ever said.
I don't think it makes her the asshole to say, like, this is what I'm going to do with this. After all, the house...
why should he have a say?
What's that?
Like, I don't feel like he should get a say.
No, he should get a say.
He had no part in this.
Well, he should get a say. I think it's a relevant thing to bring up and say, well, what are we going to do about this?
Mm-hmm.
How is our financial structure going to work? Are they contributing equally now? Are they living in the house now? There's all these kinds of questions,
Yes.
I think these are good questions to ask. But yeah, ultimately, I agree that this marriage, if it's hinging on this inheriting this house or whatever, the kid's getting the house 3 ways, I would say, Steven, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Why would you get the house? Yeah, I mean, I agree with her position. I understand why he's unhappy if he thought that, and it can be hard to hear these things, even if they are totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's just hard to hear it. I had conversations with my ex that were hard to hear. It's just like, oh, I got to sign a prenup. It's not very sexy.
It's not. Things like nobody ever wants to sign a prenup, but also, I mean, nobody goes into a marriage like thinking that.
Right. That's why I didn't like
up.
it.
People are like, oh, I don't like it. Like you're already thinking about how we're going to split up. But like nobody ever really plans for a divorce. Otherwise, you wouldn't get married.
LD writes, NTA, this is your money, your house, your child. He literally has no business telling you what to do. Well, I think they need to come to an agreement on this. I think that's key if they're going to get married. But
I think it's more like he needs to come to an understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's he who doesn't understand.
Yeah.
But they do, well.
Unless she really decides to be generous, but like I wouldn't. Because then if you think about it, like he's getting 2/3 of the house, like his kids.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's good this came out. Sarah B, NTA, he's only been around 2 years. He has no claim to the house whatsoever. Don't get married without that prenup. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just trying to say is that even though he is 100%, all these people are 100% right. He has no right to the house. I understand. It hurts. It hurts a little bit. It can be hurtful.
Yeah, I think someone did have a pretty good comment where they kind of explained.
Well, Mia G says, yikes, I'm in a similar sitch. Roles reverse, but same. My SO has 1 daughter and property inherited from his fam. I knew when I started dating him that the property would never be mine, even after we marry. You are NTA and your SO is selfish. I think this can be a pain point when it comes to property, especially if it's inherited, right? That I think is even more painful because it's like, well, fuck you. You didn't pay for this. You just got lucky. You won the genetic lottery.
Yeah.
But it can be hard. But that's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's how our society works. Jacqueline C, NTA. Also, stop having legal discussions on the internet and consult a lawyer. This is the perfect situation for some smart estate planning. Well, sure it is. But I think
She's not wrong.
well, I think the core of it here is that, she wanted to know if this was an okay boundary to lay down, not whether or not she had a legal right. She knew she had a legal right.
Right. I mean, that's all that subreddit is.
That's all the subreddit is. Tiffany F, YTA. Sorry, but when you marry someone, you accept their children as your own. Interesting.
See, this is a comment that I think is
moving me.
interesting.
Presumably, you and the younger kids will continue to bond and form relationships as time goes on. Think of how they'll feel when they are left out. I can definitely see where you're coming from, but I don't think you're considering how the family dynamic will look by the time you're older and ready to pass on. Nonetheless, I think
interesting point.
Well, I think Tiffany F is right. I think Tiffany F is right. And I think this does come down to the right? She wants the right. So she's saying no matter what, but it might not be no matter what. There might be a matter. So she should maybe.
What?
Well, in other words, she has a right to do this. And she wants that right protected. And that's what the prenup does.
Yeah.
The prenup is not the assertion that this is the only thing that can happen. The prenup protects her. That's
right.
it.
She can change her will.
Exactly.
Years down the line. That's totally fine.
That's all I'm saying. So I
feel that.
Yeah. So I think Tiffany F is right, but I think OP just wants to protect themselves. That's it. They're not saying, well, they are saying no matter what, and that hurt his feelings, which is understandable, not what I've been trying to say.
I can see
that.
But
the prenup doesn't invalidate her choice here, or doesn't make her unable to make a choice should she. Because I think that Tiffany F is really spot on. Now, it is 2 years. It's a little new. But yes, they're elementary school kids. So what is that? What's elementary school?
They're like 8.
4th grade? Is that 8? Yeah, so she's got a decade with these little MFs. I think she's going to grow some feelings. I hope she does. Otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if they'll even keep the house. They might sell it at some point.
Yeah.
You never know. Yeah, I think that is a good point. It's valid, but it's also she might grow old with this family, but they could also just as easily not and not and split up. So yeah.
Well, I think maybe it is harsh the way she said it. She could have said, at this point, it's important to me to preserve this right. I acknowledge that, your children and I have a future together and, we'll see what happens. But yes, this is what I intended and what my daughter currently expects. And I've only known you for 2 years. So I've been in this house
back off,
9
Steven.
times longer. Relax, Steve. Now, Whisper M also landing on YTI. She says, for being the quote unquote, my mind won't ever change boat. Now, with the relationship still fresh, I could absolutely understand having it in your mind that you want your daughter to have the home when you pass, but by marrying this man, you're vowing to love his children as your own. So by putting the possibility of them gaining anything from their family out the window completely is hurtful. By all means, don't just jump in and say, yeah, take the house, but at least be open to a conversation about alternative ideas.
I get that, but I also don't think that this is the point at which they should be having alternative idea conversations. I think it would actually be pretty suspicious if he was trying to convince her to relent. It's also when people say my mind won't ever change. Most people don't go into things thinking their mind is going to change.
I would understand his alarm though. I would say, I would just say I want us to be able to discuss this topic. I want an openness about the topic. And I would say I want you to own the fact that you will raise my kids as your own.
I think that's more what I would hope that's more of what he's objecting to and less about the financial stake.
Yes. Nikki R says the fiance sounds like a disgusting gold digger.
Whoa.
The audacity of an effing man thinking just because he's dated someone for 2 years who just happens to own prime real estate that he gets to lay claim to any of it. What an asshole. OP needs to dump and lose him immediately. Well, there's always one in every thread. We got to dump
There's always one. I don't know why we're being so charitable to this guy, but whatever, I'll give it to him.
Well, we don't know.
Because we don't know. He didn't say anything. He's not
even
I
quoted.
deserve this, blah, blah, blah. He's kind of thinking that once they get married, their 3 kids will... His 2 kids and her 1 kid will become their 3 kids, and so you would want to provide for all 3 of your kids.
Yeah, I think that ultimately I see his side, I see her side. I say AITA for saying that my daughter inherits my house no matter what. I'm saying no assholes here.
Whoa, that took a spicy turn.
Really? I did not expect spice. I thought we were going to be
kind
out
of.
this.
I mean,
who's the asshole? He?
Yeah.
Why? What did he say that was asshole-ish?
Well, that's the thing. It's not that he's an asshole, but it's I do think that you're kind of wrong to assume that.
He wasn't happy, and then he pointed out that the $1 million split 3 ways is enough for all 3 kids to get a head start in life. He's right.
I mean, I guess we don't know enough, so I guess going on the little we do know. I could go no assholes here. I just think his assumption is wrong, but I don't know that that's strong enough for me to go NTA. So yeah, sure.
People, it's time for everybody's favorite part. So, by the way, please rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. We really appreciate it. It does take 90 seconds. We're being honest about that. If you want to write a review, to rate probably takes 15 seconds.
Yeah, probably. You just pull it up and then you hit the 5 stars.
Join us on Patreon, guys. You thought me and Sarah's squabble was juicy there. I'm still scarred by it. I don't have therapy scheduled yet this week.
Oh my God. Well, I scarred Danny again in the Patreon when we talked about that review in depth. So
Oh, yeah.
join for that.
We're dropping juice.
You might actually hear him cry.
We're dropping deets. I haven't cried yet. I'm building to it, and I thought we were going to get it, too, because I was crying right before we recorded.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
I forgot why. Oh, yeah, it was everything that's happened this year. And yeah, I'm going to try to get the cry on the Patreon. So try to join if you want to hear me cry eventually. It's great. Patreon.com/AITA pod. AITA for being upset about Christmas presents. Now, this is a juicer. Sarah and I were even arguing online.
Yeah, we were.
For this. I hope you're having a great Christmas. I've had a rough day. For weeks, I've been ordering and wrapping gifts for my fiance and putting them under the tree. It was a lot of fun, and I was pretty excited. But come Christmas Eve, I hand him something to open, and he goes, "What are you going to open?" I looked, and everything under the tree was for him. Cut to my Christmas morning. I had to work, and upon my return, I noticed there's still nothing new under the tree. I asked him about it, and he goes, "Remember that sweater I bought you a couple weeks ago?" I said, quote unquote, "the one hanging in the closet?" He nodded and said the sweater was my present. I was there when he bought it. He bought it with my coupon. He didn't even wrap it. After the convo, went to sister's house for a few hours before evening. I return and noticed there were now 2 apparently new presents under the tree. I started preparing things to sit down and open presents. I made us both hot chocolate and buttered toast. Ooh, that sounds nice. When I got to my 2 gifts, the first was a $1 coloring book that I found in the bargain bin from Target that I bought and had left in the closet. When I opened it, he said, "At least you had something to open." Then we got to the second gift, and it was a sweater. He had gotten it wrapped after all. I feel so shitty and like I shouldn't be ungrateful. He pays for the roof over our heads till I start getting paychecks from the new job I just started. I'm very hurt, and I feel like the lack of effort and care is completely blatant. We talked, and he said if it weren't for the pandemic, he would have spent hundreds of dollars on a Disney hotel and going to the parks, and that would have been what I got for Christmas. But he says that I'm ungrateful for what I have, and IDK what to do with myself. AITA. I gotta say, I missed something. I think I missed something when I read it.
Here's the bullshit where he goes, "What are you going to unwrap?" And then now he's backtracking and it was the sweater. That's bullshit. My mom bought me a Hanukkah present when we were shopping at the outlets together, but she was like, "Hey, if you want this, this is your Hanukkah present." And I was like, "That's fucking awesome. Thank you." But like, that's bullshit. You don't say, "Oh, why don't you have any presents?" And then you go retroactively wrap something no, that's crap.
You can't do that. The other thing that I don't think I picked up on when I first read this is that he calls her ungrateful. That is truly insane.
That is bullshit.
I did miss that. Now, predictably, everyone and their mother said, we're going to break up with this guy. I still do want to push back a little bit on an instant breakup. First of all, I will say that I edited this submission heavily. Did I add in the part about the hot chocolate and buttered toast? I did. That's my favorite.
Are you serious?
I thought it was fun.
Okay.
Fuck? It was a little bit.
I hope he's reading this. Like, how did he know?
It was a little bit drunk. And so I just was pointing out there's a lot of emotions. I think this is true. There's a lot of emotions around these times. I've been very emotional. I cried on Christmas Eve just because it was sad because I wasn't with my folks. And it gets very charged. Okay. And here's why I've been thinking about this is because we've all been doing this damn thing for however many years you've been alive. Every single year, Christmas is a big deal, which I think is cool. Right? I mean, you even have an impact.
Can't relate.
What?
But yeah, I said I can't relate.
I disagree. You can relate in the sense that, right?
It's not a big deal.
But aren't you jealous? Don't Jews always say they're jealous of Christmas and shit? Didn't you ever want?
Okay, so you think...
You don't know...
You think that because you've heard some Jews say something, that it's automatically going to apply to me?
Oh, I'm asking.
No, I'm not jealous of Christmas.
I'm not jealous of Christmas.
No, we have other holidays.
Okay.
If anything, it's fucking annoying because everything is closed and it's boring.
Well, speaking from the heteronormative or whatever the fuck it's called, the Christian normative view, I think it's a lot of baggage here. I think, most people do celebrate Christmas. I think that's true. Most do. And in the United States, obviously.
Yeah.
In the United States. And I think there's a lot of baggage that comes with this day. Expectations. Mm-hmm. Listen, is there any better feeling than when I was 9 years old and I looked down at 5 a.m. and I saw the Christmas tree had all these presents underneath that I'd never been more excited in my entire life. Never.
In your previous 8 years of existence.
No, I mean since.
Oh, since? Wow.
You know.
Wow.
Okay? It's an incredible thing. And all that shit stays with you when your boyfriend fucks up at this level. That's all I'm saying, is that there's all these expectations. Because I'm like, why am I sad? Why am I sad? Is it I miss my parents? No, I don't miss them that much. It's that on this day, we would always spend this day together, or we'd always spend Thanksgiving together. And that's been how it's been my entire damn life, 31 years. And now I'm not there. And so, of course, I have that baggage. And that's why. It's not because I miss them all that much. It's because I'm used to doing this day with them. It's a special day.
Okay.
That's it. And so I'm saying, well, OP is very emotional and drunk. They're probably drunk. And so that's it. So
who among us has not sent a drunk email? I mean, come on.
Who among? Yeah, and send a drunk submission. I love to read it. I liked editing it. I said on the post, NTA and he is, but I have a feeling people are going to attack your boyfriend. He is the asshole, but this is worth a sober conversation before taking it too far. A lot of guys don't have a lot of gift-giving experience. While his gifts do show a lack of care and effort, that doesn't mean he doesn't care about you and won't be able to improve in the future. It's okay to have your feelings. You now know that this is really important to you, and he deserves a shot to understand that too. If he can't, forget about him. But I'm hopeful looking at his Disney comment.
I guess I'm confused how you looked at that comment and didn't see it as complete bullshit. How he was like, oh, if it wasn't a pandemic, I would have spent hundreds of dollars on a hotel. Like, yeah, and if it wasn't a pandemic, maybe I would be living in Ibiza right now. But like, that's a completely bullshit thing to try to trot out.
I mean, I relate with the comment a lot.
But you think he would have done it? I just think he's making up a lie as like a last-ditch attempt.
I have no idea. But I know that I would much rather have an experience with a woman than get her some kind of bullshit. I don't even know what to get her, you know?
That's fine. Mm-hmm. That is fine. But like, I do feel like if there was a genuine intention there would have been like an IOU card. This would have been something that would have been dropped like before he already completely fucked up. I just didn't buy it at all.
Well, he might have been saying it as a last-ditch effort. I don't know. I don't know this guy, but I think
it's just like, oh, well, I would have done this for you if you hadn't acted ungrateful, if coronavirus hadn't, like, I just don't buy it.
Look, I think it's complicated. I guess I just want to say that I think, look, I see a codependency in OP. Okay. I don't like the boyfriend. There's no way in hell I'm going anything but not the asshole people. Okay. Relax. I'm not saying that. And people came at me in the comments. He's the asshole. There's no question. I'm saying, is this a breakup moment? Okay. Because that's what everyone's saying. And this is what I'm here to say, is that A, there's a gift-giving culture with women. Women are more into gifts. It's a thing. Women just give more gifts. They do. They fucking do. This is my experience my entire life.
I don't have enough experience to say anything really one way or the other.
Well, I do. And I'll tell you that women in my life give me more gifts. My uncle ain't never got me a gift. My aunt, every fucking time they get me gifts. That's what they do. Okay? Maybe it's a Cuban thing. I don't know. That's what I see. I saw it with my ex, who was very big on gifts. You always take a gift to someone's house. There's all these rules about the
Sure,
gifts.
my mom taught me that. I just think women are more polite. Maybe that's
absolutely
the
women are more polite. Have you met?
Maybe that's what it is.
Of course,
I've met.
Women are more polite. They're more.
Yeah, it is my mom who taught me to never show up to someone's house empty-handed. Yes. My dad doesn't know shit. No offense, Dad.
Yes, your dad doesn't know shit. Dads don't know about this shit. Okay, and that's not okay, by the way. It's a double standard. It's unfair. But is it rooted in the fact that women are more empathetic? They're more aware of others.
Whatever. I don't know if we need to go that far, but it's like women are forced into the caretaking role, and that's part of it.
Yes, well, that is part of it too. There is a sexist part of it and an unfair part of it. But I think in general, women are more conscious. And I'll tell you one piece of evidence for that. Almost all of our listeners are women. Well, women are more concerned with etiquette.
I just don't like leaning on the like, it's like, was it the chicken or the egg? Like, were women forced into this role because they're naturally better at it, or did they have to be better at it because they were forced into it? And like, I don't like to play that game of like, oh, women are just naturally better at this stuff, so let's continue to do this stuff. Like, I don't like to play that, and I think it's like a dangerous.
It is a dangerous game. Well, I don't like naturally. Naturally is a dangerous game. Naturally is very dangerous. What I'm suggesting here, though, is that the boyfriend's ineptitude, his his projection of uncaring, and it was uncaring, and it was thoughtless, and it was inept, and it was stupid, and it was asshole-ish. What I'm saying is that because OP doesn't come for him in any other way, that I don't necessarily think he's a bad person, but rather failed to appreciate and grasp how significant this was for OP. On the other hand, I also would say, and you just said this, that women are often, quote unquote, forced into the caretaking role, which is just
That's true. That's not a bad thing to say.
Well, it's 100% true. And that is synonymous with codependency, which is literally giving more than you're getting. So did boyfriend want all those presents? Was there a gift conversation? Was there...
I mean, look, if they've been together long enough that this is her fiance, I do think that there has been some kind of precedent set. It's not their first Christmas together.
It's not. I would think not, but yet there's no information about that. So that's all I was saying. So I don't know what's been going down in this relationship, but maybe this is finally the straw that broke the camel's back. And now you kind of came at me because I said...
I'm like, I get what you're saying, but I actually don't think that this is... There was a good example of, I think, straight gift-giving ineptitude. I feel like I texted it to you, or maybe I just meant to and then forgot.
Right.
But, like, I don't think that this is a good example of it. I think that, I just think, like, there could be an example of this happening where it's, like, no one's being malicious or whatever, but I just don't think this is the one.
But I guess what I want you to hear me on, though, Sarah, is that had she gotten him no gifts, what would his reaction be? And I submit to you, it would have been indifference. You'd have been like, oh, yeah, I don't care. Those guys don't even care about gifts.
We don't know.
I'm telling you from my experience, guys are not big on gifts in general. They're big on receiving, big on giving.
I feel like you've just generalized to an entire population like 3 times.
I know some guys. I know some guys. I had my buddy Dan come at me. You know what he told me, Sarah? This is my birthday. He goes, a man doesn't get another man a gift. That's what he said out of his fucking mouth. And he's Iranian. Okay. So don't even tell me.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm telling you, it's not just the Cubans.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, it's a thing. It's a man thing. Men aren't big on gifts.
Because, like, I feel like for every situation like this, we also could just as easily read, like, where's my present? Like, why didn't you get me anything? Like, you spend all your time at home and blah, blah, blah. Like, we don't actually know one way or the other.
Well, but all I'm trying to say, Sarah, is not that this is okay. It's not okay, but I'm saying that, you know, what's the phrase? Assume ignorance over malice, or it's better than that, the phrase.
Yeah, but except that, like, we're getting hints of malice, and I don't feel like it's okay to, like, ascribe that to, oh, you're just being dumb.
Well, no, he wasn't just being dumb. He was being thoughtless.
Like, even the fact that he noticed all these presents under the tree that he knew that he did not wrap, and there's 2 of them in this household, and instead of saying anything else, he goes, oh, what are you gonna open?
I know that. I know
like,
you don't like
bro,
it, but I really think
on.
he is that inept to not make the connection that.
And I think to then call her ungrateful. Because she didn't accept his bullshit.
That's fucked up.
Like,
he was defensive.
There are way better ways to and that's gaslighty. Like, there are just way better ways to fuck up for a mistake last minute. I said in my comment, like, you can go, oh shit, buy something online and just print out the receipt that you bought it. And that's better than trying to wrap someone's sweater that they already wore.
I mean, look, the gifts he gave are horrible, but I think this guy might be a gift moron. I think it might be localized. I do think it was gaslighting. I think there was alcohol involved.
This is the thing. Like, I think it's more, the reality is, like, I feel like few people are going to actually end their relationship over one Reddit thing. But the Reddit thing can maybe make you think, is this a pattern? And that could maybe push them into breaking up with them. Like, I think there's more harm in giving this type of person the benefit of the doubt than there is to being like they're being shitty.
I'm not giving him any benefit of the doubt.
I feel like you are by being like, he's just inept. He just doesn't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
But that's the benefit of the doubt.
No, there is no benefit of the doubt. I would say to OP, if this is a pattern, if there is a pattern of thoughtlessness, then it's a pattern. And then that's it. I don't know. I'm saying this on an info. I'm just saying that a lot of people are going to read this and say, break up with him. And that's all the information I know. As far as I'm concerned, there is an extraneous factor, which we haven't even gotten to, which is that he's covering the rent. He's been paying the rent because she hasn't had a job.
I mean, that is a factor. And if he brought any of that up, then
we don't know.
Could be different.
He wrote it when she was drunk. Bonnie A., I was married to that guy to buy his gifts, the kids' gifts, extended family gifts, and my gifts every Christmas with all my hard-earned money. We've been divorced 11 years. It's awesome. I think that's great. I think that's great, but I'm still going to go back here to codependency. Are you giving gifts because you're comfortable giving a gift, or is it because you have some kind of need and you want to make people feel like they're some kind of indebted to you, and then you're getting mad at them when they don't return your gift? These are important
We don't
questions.
know because he also seems kind of gaslighty.
These
so,
are important questions to ask in any relationship. I don't want any gifts. Don't give me a gift. I got to get you a gift. Don't give me a gift. I don't want it. Kimberly M, NTA, he's gaslighting you and nothing about that situation is okay. Ashley K, NTA, unless no gifts was discussed, there's no excuse for him to not buy you anything. So he wanted to do a Disney vacay, but can't because of COVID, so he gave up. Also, what are you going to open? He saw the presents. Who did he think bought and wrapped them? Dude didn't think about you at all. I think that's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The where are your presents? It's like, I don't know. Where are they, dude?
I don't think he thought. I really don't think he thought.
So fucking
But
dumb.
but I think, look, I think it's
So
only hope he
obnoxious.
knows. It's a holistic picture question on whether this is a breakup.
I mean, I'm worried that because she's like drunk and writing in, like maybe it is a pattern. But like, I don't know. I kind of want to know. OP, you can email us confidentially. We won't read it on the pod. We just
Oh,
want to know.
Don't say that. I want to read it. I mean, look, we agree.
We are all
We agree. I
agreeing.
just think there's a gift culture that's a factor, and don't instantly break up with him. I think the guy's a total asshole. I think the gift conversation is important. I think it's important.
I don't think that like she's gonna instantly break up with him because of this AITA. I think people say that, but like rarely does that happen.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I think we agree. AITA for being upset about Christmas presents. YTA. NTA.
I was like,
imagine I did
Diddy!
that.
Oh
Not
my
the asshole,
God.
and he is. Yes, he's a total asshole.
Yeah.
I think have the conversation about gifts. Have the conversation with yourself about why you're giving people gifts. If you expect gifts in return, do they really need a gift? That's a conversation. And then with your partner is like, what is the point of these gifts? Because I would buy my ex really nice gifts, and then she didn't like what I got her. She had very demanding taste, and so it can get very transactional. And that's honestly what I really feel about gifts is that if you're gonna agree to get gifts, they should be stupid and funny and novelty gifts, because that's it. It's funny that you got it as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Not like real shit. To buy yourself what you want. You like what you want. Well, I bought Sarah books as gifts, some books that she said she wanted to read. So that was easy. But I guess with an SO, I want like a surprise. I'd rather have a thoughtful letter or something like that. I don't want like you to get me what I need. I'll just get what I need. You're not gonna know what computer shit I want.
I guess it depends.
It depends. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, this has been an epic app. I think a lot has
Oh my
happened.
God. A lot has happened. I'm like, what year?
What year is it?
What day is it?
It's almost 2021. We're almost there.
Almost there.
Guys, please rate, review, and
Almost made
subscribe.
it.
We love you, Judge Judy's. Join us on patreon.com/AITA pod, and we'll see you next Monday morning.
Bye.